Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so excited to have a conversation with actor Amit Rahav. You've seen Amit in the shows Unorthodox, Transatlantic, and most recently, he starred as Jakob in the miniseries We Were the Lucky Ones. Thank you so much for being on my show. I am so excited to be talking with you.
I'm also so excited to be talking with you. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's get started. Who do you most admire and how has that impacted the way you live your life?
Wow. We started with the heavy questions, Maya. You did not prepare me. Um,
Sorry.
let's dive deep in. Who do I most
Yeah.
admire? I think wow. I think I first admired my grandma. Um well, I have two grandmothers that I really love. Um, but one of them, she lives in London, and she always was so theatrical. She's like the funniest person, and she exposed me to so many beautiful pieces of art and all these beautiful old Hollywood films that really inspired me. And she was always such a storyteller and so funny. And she used to like put me to bed and like play games with me whenever. So she used to live in London. She still lives in London with my grandfather, and so I used to see them quite like 4 times a year, and I'd always be so excited to see my grandmother because she's such like a fun, vibrant child. Like she has like this childish soul, and she's just she has this beautiful, hilarious personality. So she really inspired me to, I think, to become an actor and to develop this skill in me because I admired her so much, and I wanted to be close to her and similar to her.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So, if you had to pick any character in a book, movie, or TV show who is most similar to you, who would you choose and why?
Wow. Wow. Book, film, TV. Um, wow. It's a hard one. I'm trying to think of what film or TV. What would you choose?
Oh, I feel like there's so many characters and TV shows that are like many different characters that I can like
Yeah.
relate to different aspects of their life. I think I would say the character Alexa from a show called Alexa and Katie that I love.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but that's cool.
It's really good. It's on Netflix.
I think it'd probably be, now that I think about it seriously, it'd probably be SpongeBob.
I love that.
Yeah, I think that would be me, like someone square, who has a cat that's a snail.
Yeah.
Um, I think that I resonate with him much more than I think.
Oh, I love that. I've never heard that answer. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like that would
Yeah.
be someone I'd resonate with.
Yeah. I love that. Um, so what has been the biggest obstacle that you've overcome?
Um, I think that I've now moved to LA, and this has been quite a big stretch for me. There's many aspects that I find that are very challenging in this move, which I wasn't expecting. And I moved from Tel Aviv to LA only 5 months ago, so I'm still in the midst of the move. Um, and there's a lot of things that I'm facing and dealing with, such as issuing a green card and getting a car suddenly, and just like meeting a lot of new people and being in so many new places and seeing new faces, new streets. Everything is so exciting on one hand, but also is on the other hand is also challenging. It's sometimes it's very nice to be in your own comfort zone and in your own like convenient island. But I think that when you move, you can't be prepared enough for the amount of obstacles and challenges that you're going to run by and face. And this has been and is still, I think, a big challenge for me to just like cope with any obstacle that comes towards me and just stay positive and while dealing with all these new shifts and changes. So yeah, I think I'm very lucky and fortunate to have been able to move here, and I'm surrounded with friends and people who I love and that I meet and that become very close to me. Um, so I know how lucky I am, and I'm very grateful for that. But there are moments that are extremely difficult in this move, and I I'm trying to to still navigate in between those moments.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, well, I think that is very impressive to like move so far away from a place you've lived all your life. I think that's very um, impressive.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what song best describes your life right now?
Oh, that's a good question. You have such good questions.
Thank you.
Could I open my Spotify and let you know
Yes.
what I've been listening to recently?
Yeah.
And then it will, because um okay, so oh my God, I know what song. I was just in New York and I really love musicals and theater and Broadway.
Yeah.
You too?
I do. Yeah.
What's your favorite one? Yeah, what's your favorite one and which one is the last you've seen?
Okay. I have I don't know. There's so many that I love. I think the first one that like I completely fell in love with the soundtrack. I've never actually seen it, but the soundtrack is Spring Awakening.
Mm, so good. Such a
Yeah.
good call. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I love that
So good.
one. Yeah. And then I actually just saw last October, my family and I went to New York for our birthdays and we saw our first Broadway show. There we saw the show Gutenberg. Um,
Oh, how was that with Andrew
so
Reynolds and Josh
yeah,
Gad?
yeah, it was so fun, and so funny, and yeah, it was just it's such a great show. It was so much fun, and I've interviewed Andrew a couple
You
times,
did? Oh, I'm
and
such a
yeah,
huge fan. Such a
yeah,
huge fan.
he's so awesome. He's like he's such a nice guy, and he actually invited me and my family to come see the show. So
Oh my God, I'm so jealous right now. Did you listen to their original Broadway cast recording of Book of Mormon?
I've listened to a couple songs, and what I've heard, I really like it.
You have to. Have you seen him perform? I believe on the Tonys, like the video of him performing his performance.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that
Oh,
one.
you have to check that out. It's
Oh,
so good. It's such
okay.
an iconic performance.
Oh, okay,
Um,
I'm writing this
and now
down.
I'm, and now I promise I'm answering your question. So I've just seen. I was in New York the other week, and I've seen The Outsiders.
Oh,
Um,
okay, I'm jealous of you now because I
okay, we
want to
had to
see
be
that.
even. We had to be
Yeah,
even. I had to balance the jealousy.
yes.
Um, uh, and I think it's the third song or the second. It's like the I Want song. It's called Great Expectations. And it's such a powerful song. And I remember like it gave me like goosebumps when they performed it. And it actually was a performance where all the main cast was replaced by their understudies. I don't know what happened, but there was no one from the original cast. They were all replaced. Probably
Wow.
got COVID, I assume. So it was actually a very beautiful show, a beautiful performance because I think they all gave it all they had. Because they were all like they got this chance, and it was such a like I always feel that it's a special performance when I come somehow magically that this night is a special performance. But I felt that this one was actually a unique one because they were all understudies and they were all so good. And when they performed Great Expectations, I really like was like blown away by the force they had on stage. And it's just a combination of like amazing voices, beautiful music, beautiful setting, lighting, acting, and it's just like it was harmonic and with the words and the lyrics, and it just was such a great theatrical moment that really stayed with me.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, there's two Broadway shows that I really wish we were still in New York to go see. I wanna see The Outsiders and I wanna see Water for Elephants.
Oh yeah.
Um yeah, I watched the Tony Awards this year and I watched their performances because I'm like, this is the closest I'm gonna get to seeing them.
Yeah, well, you never know. You might still get to see them.
Yeah, I they were incredible. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so jealous you got to see that.
I hope you get to see it too because it was honestly
Yeah,
so good. And I also watched the
yeah,
Tonys Awards live, which was also a very cool thing for me to be able to watch it live on TV because I always want to make sure I watch like the performances and the awards
yeah,
and the speeches. I'm a huge lover of awards show, and
yeah,
just to be for the first time in the US watching the show live on TV. We don't get it back in Tel Aviv streamed live. It's kind of weird. But we don't get it. So just to be able to turn on the TV and just watch the award show
yeah,
was a very cool
yeah.
moment.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. So if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
A warning label. What does that mean?
Yeah. Like for example,
Yeah, give me an example.
mine would be like prone to anxiety, don't overload. Um,
Oh,
so
nice.
like just like a warning of
Um,
whatever.
Maybe uh, don't don't pour me too much coffee because I will drink it and I've already got sleeping problems.
I
I think
like
this would be that. Oh, thank you. This
Yeah,
is an important one. This is
yes.
a seriously important.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah. Um, so what motivates you even on days you aren't really feeling it?
Um, Honestly, really good questions. Um,
Thank you.
what motivates me? I have to say that I'm genuinely motivated, but yeah, sometimes we're all human. We don't really feel it. I so when I don't feel in my element or that when I don't feel motivated, I try and remind myself that everything changes and passes and that everything is temporary. And this really helps to ground me back to reality because we can be so consumed by those feelings, I find, and it can seem very chaotic and like dramatic and huge when you feel that you're like the lack of motivation. It can sometimes feel as if it's permanent. And I find that I've found that during my 29 years of living, I've had those moments, and then I've had some moments of great motivation, and they always shift and change, and they come by and then they go like clouds. And I found that even when I'm feeling the worst and like with the least amount of motivation, I always find that this passes, and it turns out to be to be right. I mean, it works.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Um, do you have any irrational fears?
Rational fears. Well, first of all, sure, of course, I do. Too many.
Yeah.
Um, what's your irrational fear?
Um, I have too many. I
Too
feel
many.
like, yeah, my mom was once asking me some question about that. I was like, I think it's faster to just say my brain is one big irrational fear. So,
Yeah. I have irrational fears. I feel like what would you describe as an irrational fear?
um, I mean, I guess something that you know is like highly like will not happen or is highly
I
unlikely.
have one. I
Okay.
actually have one. Um, and I think that it falls perfectly under the headline of irrational fear. But I have a hard time swimming alone in a pool because I have an irrational fear that a crocodile or a shark will just appear out of nowhere. Um, and as irrational as it sounds, and it is, and as dumb as it sounds, and it is dumb, my body is like, I don't know, maybe in a different lifetime I was eaten by a crocodile. I don't know. Um, but I just have this like fear that if I'll be alone in a pool, like I feel so exposed. Um, so that's an irrational fear that I have.
Yeah.
I think it's also like I also feel it with a blanket if I'm too hot at night and I like put one leg out of a blanket. I'm just like I feel that monsters will just drag me to hell,
Yeah.
or like a ghost will just,
Yeah.
I don't know, eat me while I sleep. So I make sure to be covered
Yeah.
360.
Yeah.
Again, irrational fears. You've asked. It's super dumb.
No, I would not call irrational fears dumb. I get it.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I feel better
of
about myself.
course. Yeah, of course. I have, yeah, so many. Yeah, I actually, about the blanket, your thing about the blanket, I remember I used to like have that fear for some reason too,
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
no idea.
Yeah, sometimes it just like in the middle of the night. I think it's just like if you wake up in the middle of the night, like you're tired, your brain's not thinking
Yeah,
clearly. So then it's just like everything just kind of turns into like this scary movie in your head.
that's very true. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
your brain is not awakened yet, and you just
Yeah.
think the worst in the
Yeah.
darkness. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Um, so what is your favorite way to procrastinate?
Mm, what do you mean by that?
Um, like, uh, like if you have something that you know you have to do, but like you're putting off, what's your favorite way to kind of,
Get me
uh,
moving?
or no, to like distract yourself from that thing you have to do?
Oh, what's my favorite way to distract myself?
Yeah.
Um, the most immediate thing is my phone,
Mm.
probably, which I hate, but is true. But I have to say that I really love going to the movies here. Um, and I find it always so sort of like reviving. I don't know if that's the right term, but like exhilarating to go to the cinema here in LA. It's always such like it's so festive here.
Yeah.
People the theaters are always packed with people. The popcorn is so good. The sound system is so loud. I'm sitting on these massive sofas, and again, back in Tel Aviv, cinema is not that. It's there is cinema, but people are not just like rushing there, and it's not so well like beautifully lit with all this like red leather like wall to wall carpets. I don't know what this
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
but it's like all the lights and when you come in there, it's so cinematic to go to the cinema. It's such like a there's something very there's something so I feel so alive when I go there.
Yeah.
So I really love going to just watch a film. It's always very rewarding from the moment I leave the house till I get back.
Yeah, I love that. I my best friend loves going to the theater to he always goes to see movies, and I'm
Yeah,
someone that like I like when I'm actually there, like it's fun to like be there with other people seeing this movie, like everyone's excited to see. But I have a lot of anxiety about going to the theater, so it takes a lot
yeah,
for me to like actually be able to go see a movie. Most of the time, I just watch it at home.
yeah. I know. I understand. It's also really fun to watch a film at home. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but maybe it's because I'm from Tel Aviv and from Israel, and cinemas there are great. It's really nice, but here it's just like a whole different experience. It's like they make sure that you this will be money well spent and that you'll
Yeah.
get like a full experience of
Yeah.
going to see like a film in the cinema. It's
Yeah.
I don't know, it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I am pop culture obsessed and go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
On TV.
Yeah, or on streaming.
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I am watching now the other two. I just started. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I love that show.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I just feel like I could watch it again and again and again. I'm in the middle of
Yeah.
the second season, and I just think that it's such good writing, and it's such a fresh take on like our modern lives with
Yeah.
social media and fame and
Yeah.
just like normal life
Yeah.
compared to what can happen when stardom gets to you.
Yeah.
And it's just I find it really funny and edgy and just like very on point. And
Yeah.
this I really love this show. Yeah. What about
Yeah.
you? What are you obsessed
Oh.
with?
Um, well, first of all, I loved or I still love the other two. I'm so sad that it's not on anymore. Um, but I am watching there's two shows on Netflix that one is there's a show called Unstable that is hilarious and season two just came out. So I'm watching that right now with my family. Um, and then there's a new show that also just came out called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Yeah, I've
Um,
heard of that.
yeah, that one is really good too.
Okay, noted.
Yeah. So, yeah, I highly recommend those. And Unstable is just hilarious. So,
Okay, I'm gonna watch them.
awesome. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you get to the season two finale of the other two, you have to let me know what you think because there's a couple scenes that just like are just ingrained in my brain that just constantly
Oh my
replay
God.
to make
Okay,
me
I'm
laugh.
excited.
So
Okay, yeah, I trust them that they made it really like
yeah,
such a great finale that will be
yeah,
probably engraved in my brain too. Um, I
yeah,
love the cameos also. They bring in so
yeah,
many great people to just like
yeah,
appear for like a short moment. I love that. I love
yeah,
when people do that.
yeah, me too. Yeah. And there's also there's a comedy on Max called Hacks that I don't
Oh,
know
I
if you've
just started
seen.
that.
Oh, yeah, I love that show too.
So good, so good.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to watch this show for so long, but you know, like there's so many things that I feel that I should catch up on, and so many content that I like, so much content that I want to watch, but there's so much that I can't consume.
Yeah.
So I just got to Hacks. I know very late to the party, but it's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good.
It
It's so
is.
funny. I'm like
Yeah.
really like I just started, so I'm like I think on episode like five, I'm gonna say, of the first season. So I'm like very fresh in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely know that this is a show that I will continue and is like that I can resonate with and just continue
Yeah.
watching it
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. I love that show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Um
very reassuring to hear. Now that I know that you
yes.
love it, I know that I can just like really continue with it.
Thanks. Yeah. Um yeah, and sorry, now once we start talking about shows, like I don't know, I can keep talking about
Oh yeah, me
that.
too.
Like
Easily. This could just
I
continue
yeah.
forever.
Yeah, I yeah, there's two also there were two Netflix shows that I was gonna recommend to you.
Tell me.
That
I want to know.
okay. Well they're not Netflix shows, but they're on Netflix. There's White Collar,
Okay.
and then Royal Pains.
Okay, I need to like research about those two. I
Yeah,
I don't I don't know that I know. Maybe I've heard of them. Maybe I know actors that act there. Like,
yeah,
but I don't know that I have the. Tell me about it.
yeah. Um, okay, well, I those are both two of my all-time favorite shows, and I when they came back on Netflix, I'm currently in the middle of rewatching all of Royal Pains. I rewatched all of White Collar. Um, White Collar is about a con man who starts working with the FBI in the white collar unit. And so they're catching like other con men and like people who are forging art. And it's so good and it's really interesting. And then Royal Pains is about a doctor in New York who he gets fired from the hospital he's working at. So his brother takes him to the Hamptons, and then they end up moving there and starting a concierge medical practice there.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, both like they mix in comedy like really well with the storylines. All of like both shows, they're all the storylines are so interesting and yeah,
Okay.
and they mix in comedy really well with like some drama and yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
White collar
Yeah.
sounds like something I'd like to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both so good. And White Collar is like both are, I don't know, I'd say both are like two of my comfort shows, but White Collar especially like the past few months, like that's all I've been watching like when I get up, when I go to bed at night. So
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Thanks for the recommendation. I'm
yeah,
definitely gonna check it out now.
of course. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of those too.
Okay. I've got a list now. We've got a
Yeah,
list.
yes.
I love that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I have a whole list of like even more shows that if you're ever looking for shows that I could recommend.
Oh,
So,
amazing. Okay, I feel so fully covered.
yeah. um, so what do you wish people better understood about you?
Um, mm, what would I wish that people better understood about me? Um, mm, that what do I wish people would better understand about me? I think that I don't know. I feel like I'm very understandable.
Yeah.
And that I'm very open with people and about myself. So I don't know that I'm the people. I feel like I'm always so. I always speak maybe even a bit too much in interviews about myself and open up. And sometimes I'm even like questioning myself. Was I did I expose too much? Did I speak too much? So I feel very understandable, I think. Um, I don't know. That's an interesting question that I'll have to continue thinking about. But I feel like I'm very always very open and and um and clear. I don't know, and I feel like I'm very exposed in when I get interviewed. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can just email me and I can
I'll
put
email you
it
back
in.
my answer.
Yeah. um So, what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Um, I really, you know, I really take I really take seriously the weather situation. Um, and when there's a nice day out, um, it really affects me in a way that's like I'm very in tune with the weather. So when it's sort of like gloomy or foggy, it can really put me down. And I sort of like feel this melancholic feeling. Um, and when the weather is really nice and the sun is out and the skies are blue, I just feel um so I feel like I've got the day in my hand and that everything is possible and I can go out and get some sunlight and I everything becomes way more like I don't know possible to me
Yeah.
when there's a nice day. And I don't know that a lot of people pay attention to how the weather make makes us feel, but I do feel that it really like that it has a strong effect on my day to day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Um I love that. Yeah, for me, I don't I kind of like I like when it's like overcast and like a little bit cloudy because I can't do the heat. So I
Yeah.
like being outside, but when it's super hot, I stay inside.
Yeah.
I'm not even like leaving the house for anything. So
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I understand. The heat can be super like insufferable at
yeah.
times. Um, but yeah, it's just I don't know. When there's a blue sky, I just want to be
Yeah.
outside, no matter
Yeah.
what weather, what's the weather and how hot it is. I don't know. It's just like it even depresses me to be inside when there's a
Mm.
beautiful day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Um, so what food reminds you most of your childhood?
Pasta.
Oh.
I was very difficult with food growing up, and I'm also vegetarian. And I was really like struggling with food touching food. I everything had to be clean without any sauce on it. So for years, I used to eat only clean pasta with nothing on it, only salt. Um, a huge stage for me was to add olive oil on the pasta, but it had like the first stage was pasta with salt. On a different plate, in a different bowl, I'd have like cut cucumbers. Um, and in a different plate, I'd have maybe like a um, I don't know, like chickpeas or like a vegetable nugget, like vegetarian nugget. Um, and this was like pasta was the only thing I stick with my whole childhood. And nowadays, when I'm an adult, I don't eat that much pasta, although I do love it. But also because I used to eat so much pasta, I now remember this embarrassing fun fact about me. Um, I actually was so proud of the fact that I only ate pasta. I don't know why I was so proud of that fact, but I was. And I took a picture for the yearbook with me like of me holding pasta, and that's how all my classmates will remember me forever. As the guy who just liked to eat pasta. Um, so yeah, that really reminds me of my childhood.
Oh, I love that.
And I do like now pasta with sauces on it, like with a bit more flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I love that that's your yearbook photo. That I mean that makes a lasting impression on
Oh
people.
my
So
God. Yes. Lasting, literally lasting. Yeah. This will
yeah.
last.
Yeah. Um, so I just have one more question for you.
Yeah.
I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, the one that spoke to me is please never forget how brave it is to hope and dream amidst the uncertainty. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Oh, that's really beautiful. That really moved me now. I I really needed to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, um, yeah, I really agree with that quote. It's so beautiful. So glad that you picked that. I think that it's not a quote, but something that does lead me in life, which actually really resonates with your choice, is that I don't. I've I found out um, that people don't really care as much as I do about things that I do. That everyone is very focused on their own bubble. And I sometimes get wrapped up with thoughts about things I've said or done or will do, or how should I do certain things um, when interacting with people. And I found out that people have a short term memory and that they don't really take things seriously as serious I take as serious as I take them. And this really liberated me, understanding that, as you said, I can hope and dream in uncertain times and also proceed with my dreams and move forward. Um, and even maybe stumble in my way and fall or tread. And people might, and I'm continuing the metaphor, but people might laugh. And if they do, that's mean, but they won't really remember it. And I can
Yeah.
just continue and stand up again and just continue along like the path that I've caved myself. Um, and uh, and I do think that when we pave our path is we wanna walk on them, and sometimes it's scary, but people um, will maybe just be inspired by um, your courage and dreams and hopes, even if times are uncertain, and that you have to follow that and not really get caught with what people will say or think because everyone is just focused on their own bubble. So, it, um, yeah, that's what I think.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, that was my final question for you. It has been so much fun talking with you. You have made my day. So thank
Oh,
you
you've made
so
mine.
much.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You honestly, genuinely have such good questions.
Thank
Um,
you.
I feel like these sort of questions should be asked more in interviews. And thank you for that. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you. That means a lot to hear. I have just had the best time talking with you. You
Oh, me too.
made my day. So
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I yeah, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Oh, you too.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.